3. Master data. Master data in SAP SD is the single biggest determinant of system behavior. Configuration defines what is possible. Example. We can give discounts. Master data decides what actually happens. Example. Customer X gets 10% off. In real projects, more than 70–80% of SD production issues trace back to incorrect master data. A wrong tax classification leads to a legal compliance violation. Incomplete master data. A missing shipping condition prevents a truck from being scheduled. Misaligned master data ownership. Sales thinks finance updates the credit limit. Finance thinks sales does. Result: orders blocked. If organizational structure is the skeleton of SD, master data is its muscle and nervous system. Customer master. The customer master is the central repository that defines who you sell to, under what commercial rules, and how financial risk is managed. It is not a single object. It is a composite master spread across 3 distinct organizational levels. In S/4HANA, this is technically handled by the business partner, BP, object, but the 3-tier logic remains the absolute foundation. 1. General data. Scope. Client level. Valid for the entire SAP system. Access. All company codes and sales areas see the same data here. Key fields and strategic impact. Name and address. Seems simple, but address data drives route determination. If the transportation zone is missing here, your logistics logic fails. Control data, tax numbers. Stores critical legal IDs like GSTIN India, VAT Reg No Europe, or TIN US. If this is wrong, every invoice generated is legally void. Marketing or unloading points defines when the customer can receive goods. Example. No deliveries on Fridays. Global location number, GLN. Critical for EDI, electronic data interchange, transactions. Real insight, greater than errors here, are catastrophic because they affect all sales areas globally. If you spell the name wrong here, it is wrong on the US invoice, the German delivery note, and the Indian tax report. 2. Company code data. Scope, financial accounting, FI, level. Access. Specific to one legal entity, company code. Key controls, reconciliation account, the most critical field. It links the subledger, customer, to the general ledger, balance sheet. Without this, you cannot post an invoice. Payment terms, FI. Defines the baseline for payment, example. Net 30. Note, sales area data can override this, which often causes confusion between sales and finance. Payment methods, checks. Wires. ACH. If check isn't ticked here, you can't pay them by check. Dunning procedure defines how aggressively we chase them for late payment. Friendly reminder versus legal notice. Withholding tax, critical for service-based sales, where tax is deducted at source. SD consultant's duty. You must coordinate with FI here. You cannot create a customer for sales until FI has opened the company code view. 3. Sales area data. Scope. SD level, sales org, plus dis channel plus division. Access, specific to a sales channel. The customer can have different data for wholesale versus online. Key fields and logic, sales office or sales group, used strictly for reporting. How much did the North Office sell? Customer pricing procedure, a single-digit flag. Example. 1. That tells the system which pricing schema to use. If this is blank, pricing fails. Shipping conditions, determines how we ship. Example. O1 standard, VSO2, express. This is a primary input for shipping point determination. Delivering plant, the default warehouse. If the material master doesn't specify a plant, the order looks here. Incoterms. Example. FOB. CIF. Defines who pays for freight and when risk transfers. Account assignment group. The link to the revenue G or L account, VKOA. If this is wrong, revenue posts to the wrong bucket. Example. Domestic sales instead of export sales. Partner functions. Defines the relationship structure. Who buys, who receives, who pays. Important rule. Greater than no sales area equals no sales order. You cannot sell to a customer in a specific channel until they are extended to that sales area. Customer master control concepts. Account group, OBD2. The blueprint controls the behavior of the customer master itself. Field status decides if fields are hidden, mandatory, or optional. Example: VAT number is mandatory for export customers, optional for domestic. Number range: internal, system assigned versus external. Partner functions: sold to, AG, the legal entity placing the order. Shipped to, WE, the physical location receiving goods. Affects taxes and route. Bill to, RE, who receives the invoice. Payer, RG, who pays the bill, affects credit limit. Tax classification: a grid of indicators, 0 equals exempt, 1 equals liable, for every country the sales area covers. This drives the tax code determination in the sales order. Real project problems with customer master. 1. Reconciliation account missing, the sales order is created fine. Delivery works, but the billing document fails to release to accounting. 2. Missing sales area extension, user tries to create an order in VA01 and gets customer not defined in sales area. 3. Incorrect tax classification, customer charged 18% VAT when they should be 0% exempt. Huge audit risk. 4. Incoterms mismatch, system defaults FOB from master data, but contract says DDP. Freight charges are calculated incorrectly. Senior tip: a strong SD consultant audits the customer master download before touching a single line of configuration. Material master: the material master defines what you sell, how it is priced, how it is delivered, and how it impacts inventory and accounting. It is the most complex master data object, shared across SD, MM, PP, QM, and FI. In SD, we focus on specific tabs: Views, .1, Basic Data, 1 and 2. Scope, Client Level, Global. Key fields: Material Description, the text that appears on the invoice. Base Unit of Measure, the fundamental unit, example, EA, K, G. All conversions start here. Material Group, used for reporting and sometimes pricing or account determination. Gross or net weight, crucial for logistics. If weight is 0, the system cannot calculate truck capacity or freight costs. 2. Sales Organization Views, Sales Org 1 and 2. Scope, Sales Area, specific to a distribution channel. Key Controls, Delivering Plant, the default source of supply. Item Category Group, the most important field in SD Material Master. Norm, Standard Item. DIEE, Service. Bands, Third-party item. It determines how the item behaves in the order. Stock versus non-stock, billing relevance, etc. Account Assignment Group determines if the sale posts to product revenue or service revenue. Tax classification. Just like the customer, the material also has tax status, example. Full tax versus reduced rate food items. Impact. Greater than one wrong field here, example. Item Category Group breaks pricing plus delivery plus billing simultaneously. 3. Shipping View. Sales, general or plant. Scope, plant level. Key fields, loading group. Example: crane, forklift, manual. Essential for shipping point determination. Transportation group. Example: pallets, liquid, bulk. Essential for route determination. Availability check. Example: O1 daily, O2 individual. Defines how ATP checks stock. If set to KP, no check. The system confirms stock even if you have none. 4. Accounting View. Scope, plant or valuation area. Key fields, valuation class, links the material to the G or L, inventory account. Price control, S or V. Standard versus moving average. Standard price, the cost used for profit margin calculation. Net price, cost equals profit. SD dependency, SD does not own this view. But without it, you cannot do a PGI, post goods issue, because the system doesn't know the cost of goods sold, COGS. 5. MRP View, indirect SD impact. Scope, plant level, key fields, MRP type. PD, ND, planned delivery time, affects when we can promise goods if we are out of stock. Real insight, Greater than ATP failures are often not SD config issues. They are MRP data issues. Example: wrong lead times or safety stock. CMIR, Customer Material Info Record. CMIR is the ultimate override. It allows you to map specific logic for a specific customer plus material combination. T-code, VD51. Why use it? 1. Terminology: you sell Pentium Processor 500, but Customer X calls it Intel Chip X. CMIR maps their ID to yours so they can order using their codes. 2. Delivery priority: this customer always needs this specific material faster than others. 3. Partial delivery: you might allow partials generally, but for this material, Customer X demands complete delivery only. 4. Plant override: for Customer X, this material always comes from Plant B, even if the default is Plant A. Priority logic: greater than CMIR, greater than Customer Master, greater than Material Master, greater than the system checks CMIR first. If a value exists, it uses it. If not, it falls back to the customer or material masters. Condition Master: Condition Master stores pricing and charge records. It is the data layer of the pricing engine. T-code, VK11. Concept: configuration creates the buckets. Condition types, like PR00, K007. Master data fills the buckets with money. Components: condition records, the actual numbers. Example: material X equals $100. Validity dates: price is $100 from January 1st to December 31st. Crucial for managing price increases. Scales: buy 10 at $100. Buy 100 at $90. Condition supplements: bundling freight or discounts into a base price record. Important reality: greater than configuration defines logic, how to calculate. Master data defines value, what to calculate. Greater than no condition record equals no pricing, unless manual. This stops the sales order immediately. Vendor Master, additional: why does an SD consultant care about vendors? Scenarios: 1. Third-party sales, TAS. Your customer orders from you, but you order from a vendor who ships direct. The system auto-generates a purchase requisition. This requires valid vendor master data. 2. Intercompany STO. The supplying plant often acts as a vendor to the receiving plant. 3. Rebates: if you process vendor-backed rebates, chargebacks. Key fields: currency must match the PO currency. Incoterms must align with the customer side for third party. GL Master, additional: the G or L, General Ledger, Master, is the destination for all financial values from SD. SD postings, revenue. Credit: discounts, debit, freight. Credit: tax. Credit: COGS. Debit. SD consultant's role: you don't create G or L accounts, but you must know them to configure. VKOA, account determination. If the G or L account is blocked or marked for deletion in FI, your billing document will not save. Master data governance, real project reality. In a sandbox, you create your own data. In a real project, governance is war. Siloed ownership: sales team owns the customer sales view. Finance owns the customer company code view. Warehouse owns the material plant view. The problem: if sales creates a customer, but finance forgets to add the company code view, the order gets stuck at billing. A senior SD consultant, 1. Defines ownership, creates a RACI matrix for every field in the master data. 2. Designs controls, uses required fields and account groups to force users to enter data. 3. Educates users, explains why the transportation group matters, i.e., if you leave this blank, the truck won't come. Golden rules for master data in SAP SD. 1. Never configure before validating master data. Don't change the pricing procedure if the issue is just a missing condition record. 2. Keep master data minimal, but complete. Don't fill optional fields just in case. It confuses users. 3. Avoid duplication. Use the check for duplicates feature. Duplicate customers split credit history and ruin reporting. 4. Document field usage. Keep a data dictionary that explains what your company uses each field for. 5. Control number ranges. Ensure internal or external ranges don't overlap. 6. Audit regularly. Run reports to check for customers missing tax IDs or materials missing weights. Mental model you must build. Think of master data as behavior switches. Change customer pricing procedure and payment terms change. Change material item category and shipping point change. Change CMIR delivery priority and plant change. Change condition record final price changes. Configuration rarely changes in a live system, it requires transport requests. Master data changes daily. If you master master data, you control the daily reality of SD.